All right, then. So on the program this morning, we're prospecting Lekki Deep Seaport in economically challenging times. And joining me on the phone line this morning, I have Daniel Odibe, who is Deputy Chief Operating Officer for the Lekki Deep Seaport. Nice to have you. Good morning, Mr. Odibe.
Good morning, Victor. Thank you again for being here.
Right. It's been quite a while. We had the word with you. It's still a new year, by the way, so never too late to say Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you too, bro.
Great. So we spoke with you shortly after the takeoff of the Lekki Deep Seaport, and that was sometime in 2023. And then at that time, I remember that you had full optimism on the potentials of the port. So going about, this is 2 years down the line. How is your optimism? Is it still the same? I mean, let's start from there. Are you still very optimistic about the potentials of that particular deep sea port?
Yes, of course, Victor. I mean, again, I don't think it's being very optimistic, but actually, but having the actual activities and numbers to show that I mean, Lekki Deep Seaport is a game changer in the country's maritime space. Yeah, so I must say, I mean, we've started slowly, but we really building up and really positioning ourselves to address the challenges in the maritime sector.
Right. So the word then and up to now is that the Lekki Deep Seaport is the game changer. So is it really the game changer?
It is the game changer, Victor. It is the game changer. We're talking about the first deep sea port in the country with a draft of 16.5 meters. That gives you the capacity to receive the very big container vessels. We're talking about vessels with length on arrival of 400 meters and have the capacity to handle 18,000 20-foot equivalent units.
Right. Okay, that's massive. We'll talk about the structure and, of course, the structure. We'll look at what that port look like. It's the biggest that we have in Nigeria as we speak. But ever since you've taken off, how many big ships have been able to dock or berth within that port?
Yeah, we had the biggest vessel to call the country January last year. That was a 365 meter vessel with a capacity of about 14,000 20-foot equivalent units, and it was an LNG powered vessel. So greener source of energy for the vessel. Yeah. So I mean, ever since then, we've had weekly call of such vessels, and we do handle about an average of 8 to 9 vessels a week.
Okay, so let's talk about it now. So the port is divided into 3. I do understand. Talk to us. What are the structures of that port?
All right, so it's a multi-purpose port. You have the container terminal, you have the liquid belt, and then you have the dry bulk terminal. But currently, we only have the container terminal operational. We're still working on the other terminals, and we hope to have the liquid belts operational from 2026. While the dry bulk is still in discussion.
All right. Okay. So the container port, part of the container component of the port, is the only one that's working right now, and I hear it has a capacity of receiving about 2.5 million trade equivalent units. Is that correct?
So the port was developed in phases, and what we have operational now is phase 1. Phase 1 has a land size of about 47 hectares, a key length of 680 meters, and a throughput capacity of 1.2 million TEUs. When the port is fully developed, that's when we have the phase 2 on board. And basically, the phase 2 the development of phase 2 will be triggered based on attaining a certain amount of containers handled in phase one. So when we have phase two, then that's when we'll have the capacity to move 2.5 million TEUs. And then the key length will be 1,500 meters with the land side scaling up to 90 hectares.
Right. Okay, so at the moment you said at least per week you have like 89 calls in terms of ships that arrive?
Eight to nine vessels.
Okay, 8 to 9.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, and when we put that in perspective in terms of the projection that we had earlier on, give us an idea. This is quite significant for Nigeria's economy, but we are operating below par at the moment. Is that correct?
Well, that's correct. I mean, everyone is conscious of what the country went through last year. The alignment of the official and the black market rates, removal of subsidies. I mean, they all have the effect on the economy. But I think the gains of those policies are beginning to pay off because we see a bit of stability with the exchange rate, and that has of course created the confidence in the for the importers.
Okay.
So we're seeing good growth rates starting this year, and even though we were below par, but we are gradually getting to the numbers expected.
All right. So let's talk about the expected economic benefits of the Lekki Deep Sea Port. I know there have been so many projections, but in terms of job creation, in terms of revenue generation, and even GDP growth, how are we performing?
Well, I mean, the contributions are there because having a deep sea port helps the shipping companies achieve economics of scale, and that tends to reduce the cost of transportation into the country. I mean, so that's savings for the importers, and it gives them, more capital to bring in more goods. And then with the equipment deployed in the ports, from the ship-to-shore cranes for handling of the vessels to the landside equipment, the drive-through scanners. All this in combination with the terminal operating system and the automatic systems we have, they ensure faster clearance of cargo.
Okay.
The stay of containers in the port, it's lower, it's less than what you have in other ports.
Right. So cargo clearing time is much faster.
That's correct. I mean, it's a lot faster than what you have in other ports.
Right. And in terms of job creation, can you speak to the numbers?
I don't have the numbers offhand, but the projection is 170,000 direct and indirect jobs for the tenure of the port, and which we've started off strongly. And as we scale up operations, of course, with phase two coming on board, with liquid berths on board, we'll have more employment opportunities for the country. And of note, we have focus on the community in which we exist,
right,
which is the Lekki community.
All right, then Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. This morning, we're prospecting Lekki Deep Sea Port in economically challenging times. And if you're wondering who's speaking with me so eloquently, I have Daniel Odibe. He's Deputy Chief Operating Officer for the Lekki Deep Sea Port. All right, Mr. Daniel, let's talk about infrastructure. So all you said so far in terms of what you have at the Lekki Deep Sea Port, second to none. Of course, the best that we have in Nigeria at the moment. But in terms of allied auxiliary transport infrastructure that should have been attached to a model, a port of that nature, how far have we performed? And let's look at other auxiliary transport services, the rails, truck services, and all of that. How are we performing?
So basically, you're right. I mean, for a deep sea port like this to function efficiently, you'd need proper cargo evacuation means. You need different modes of operation. Um, I want to give. I want to start with a real connection. We have the past president
Muhammadu Buhari.
Buhari. Yeah, we had his approval to connect the coastal rail line to have that connected to the port. Um, I mean, there's still high level discussions with the Ministry of Transport and the Nigerian Railway Corporation on achieving that.
Okay.
That's for the rail. We have a number of cargo being moved by barges, to inland Lagos, closer to cargo destination, that's working very well.
Okay.
Last year, we did some movements of containers to One. So that's coastal barge transportation to other parts of the country,
Right.
which is a big a big benefit of Lekki Port in the maritime space because it helps opens up the other ports in the country with lower drafts that cannot be accessed by the big vessels.
Right.
So the big vessels can come to Lekki Port, discharge cargo meant for those ports, and then the smaller vessels and barges can now take to those ports. So we commenced that last year with One Port as a test run.
Right.
Then with respect to the road network, I think we have to say a big thank you to the federal and state government. We all see the progress of work along the Lekki Expressway.
Right.
I mean, it's almost completed, and it's been done in record time.
Which is which is very good. All right, so I'm going to be touching down on that axis. You mentioned something about the road network and the impact it will have on traffic. Let me also confirm to you what you just said right now. Over the weekend, we featured the public relations officer of the Barge Operators Association of Nigeria, and he did confirm what you just said now, that they are actually lifting containers from the Lekki Deep Sea Port to other parts of the country. So, which is
great.
Very, very true. All right, we'll touch down on the chaotic traffic congestion that we've witnessed in Apapa and at the ports we have in this part, and of course how that will impact the Lekki Deep Sea Port. But we're going to take a short break first off. Just give me a minute. This is Maritime Today, and we're speaking with Daniel Odibe, who's a Deputy Chief Operating Officer for the Lekki Deep Sea Port. A brief break, we will be back.
From A to B, from A to B, from north to south, from north to south, from east to west, from east to west, from port to port, from port to port. You can ship your goods and feel good too. Oh yeah, Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
The Nigerian Shippers Council is now better poised with responsive systems in place to help you and other shippers get seamless, stress-free transition for your clients' goods from point A to B. Today at the Nigerian Shippers Council, timeliness, orderliness, transparency and efficiency is all we care about. Put your complaint through to our helpline 0818-888-8895. Visit us at number 4 Ayodele Shoyode Lane, Apapa, Lagos, or reach us on www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the port of your needs.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Maritime Today is the program, and I still have with me on the phone line Daniel Odibe, who is a Deputy Chief Operating Officer for the Lekki Deep Sea Port. We're prospecting that port, by the way, in economically challenging times. Those will be coming in from the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, linking up with Beja Secretariat, 7 up all the way to Alakbare. Still looking good at the moment. No major worries driving through those corridors. Okpebi Island, all those areas in the Ikeja, Obafemi Awolowo Way, Radio Junction, junction connecting Allen intersection down to Ikeja underneath the bridge. Also looking good. Same for your return journey. We'll be serving you more helpings as the program continues. All right, so Mr. Odibe, I know that one of the major challenges that have confronted the Apapa ports and of course the allied ports in Lagos has been the issue of traffic congestion as a result of the preponderance of trucks that are trying to access the ports. Let's talk about the Lekki Deep Sea Port. What has the experience been, and what interventions is being put in place to bring some kind of succor? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I mean, that's a very important aspect to focus on. There's a lot of road construction ongoing around the access roads to the ports, to the refinery. So it's important to have a traffic management system to manage around the disruptions by the construction. And then again, when you have the refinery takeoff, that increase the influx of tankers into the port area.
Right.
I must say that we did have some really challenging situations with traffic gridlock between the tankers and the trucks for coming for the port.
Okay.
But then we had the quick intervention of the Ministry of Transport, Lagos State, with the deployment of the last mile officers to check that situation.
Right.
But most importantly, we're still waiting on the Ministry of Transport deployment of the comprehensive traffic management system that includes a call-up system, an appointment system,
Okay.
where trucks pick appointments and then they wait in a truck park, and then before they are now called into the port area.
Right.
You know, that's the most important system to really address traffic situation.
And I know that the permanent secretary has been here. That's Wale Musa, to talk about the Lekki e-call-up system and its benefit to the stakeholders there. But what we're getting, the feelers, is that the tankers and of course those who are operators of these trucks, they seem not to be having a very, very good liking towards this service, this e-call-up system.
It's a sad one because it's a situation of bad habits when people are used to doing things. I mean, you can't expect positives when you keep doing things the wrong way. No matter how well built the roads are, no matter how wide they are, if you don't have a traffic management system, you will end up being as bad as a papa or even worse, because we currently have one road in and out of the port area.
Okay.
The traffic management system has been designed in a way that it doesn't just benefit the port, the refinery, and other establishments in the zone here. It is more beneficiary to the truck drivers, because the way it's been designed and to be implemented, it will ensure that these truck drivers have spend less time on the road and also have a faster turnaround time. So in the past, where you have 10 trucks trying to make 10 trips in a day, you might have 5 trucks making 2 trips in a day, which is of more benefit to the truck drivers,
right,
to the truck owners, and also it helps with reduction in transportation costs, damages to the roads.
So it is more beneficial for them to embrace this e-call-up system. That's what it means.
That's what it is. I mean, it's a practice all over the world. You can't just park indiscriminately along the access roads, or when you break down, there's no help, or you just drive into the port area without an appointment.
All right.
I mean, there has to be a structure in management of this.
All right, then I'm having some messages that are popping in here for you. By the way, if you want to join the conversation, feel free, 09153877127. This one says, this Lekki deep sea port, what kind of cargo will it handle? Isaiah is sending that one in from our papa.
Lekki deep sea port is designed for containerized cargo, which is currently in operations. Bulk cargo, which are the grains and other big bulk cargo. That's in the future, probably in 2-3 years time.
Okay.
And then the liquid
cargo.
That's hopefully going to come into operation by next year.
Okay. This one says, good morning, Lagos Traffic Radio. Please, this port won't it add to the traffic congestion along the Lekki Ekpe axis? Mr. Tolu Ojo is sending that one in. Tolu, I think Daniel just commented on that one as well. Another message here says, good morning, Traffic Radio. Will this port reduce dependence on Apapa port, or is it meant to complement it? You didn't put your name. Thank you so much for that question. Daniel, maybe you want to respond to that quickly. Is it an alternative?
So currently, it's it sounds like an alternative currently, but I think from my opinion, if you look at the number of containers handled yearly by Nigerian ports, which is about 1.2 million 20-foot equivalent units, it is grossly low for a population of 200 million.
Okay.
So I believe that there are some deficiencies here, which has not made us attain the right numbers. And one has to do with infrastructure, which Lekki Port has positioned to address that. Yeah.
All right. All right, quickly, let's just take some of these concerns. This one says, good morning, Victor and Daniel. I'm seriously worried at the traffic implications of this port. Will there be dedicated lanes or bypass roads to prevent container trucks from blocking city traffic? Chris is sending that one in. Chris, thank you so much. One more here says, what measures are in place to prevent port congestion, which is a major issue in Apapa? Thank you. I think both questions are related, and I know that Daniel has touched on it before now as well. Quickly, as we round off, there is the question of charges. I mean, some people have been talking about increased charges by the Lekki Deep Sea Port. What's your response to them? I mean, the deputy managing director of CGA was also talking about that, CMA rather. So what's your response to that?
Yeah, so, quite naturally, everything, when the prices on everything went up in the country, and the ports are no different from part of the country. Cost of running the port, diesel costs, they all went up. So quite naturally, you expect prices to go up. But the most important thing, it is the savings in time.
Okay.
Savings in time comes with savings in costs. Right. The faster your containers are being handled, then the less you have to pay in rent, demurrage, So right. That's the benefit that the port presents. But our charges are lower than other ports in the country.
All right, we'll leave it at that for now. And it's so nice having you on the program. Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel Odibe, for connecting with us this morning.
Thank you, Victor. Always nice to be here.
Oh, great. All right. So on the program, we'll be able to prospect the Lekki Deep Seaport in economically challenging times. And Daniel Odibe, who is a Deputy Chief Operating Officer for the Lekki Deep Seaport, has taken us on this excursion this morning. We have to go. The program has been produced by Taiwo Barua. Maximum shout out going out to Dayo Anthony. In the studios, Ayomide Omolaja and also Abba Winifred. I must say a big thank you to Rebecca Adamu, Assistant Director of Public Relations for the Nigerian Shippers Council. You can connect with the council on all their platforms at NG Shippers. Let me say a big thank you to Afe John and Okwemi Shonuke, our social media team. Our executive producer is Tayo Akonle. My name is Victor Oteri. I'm out. But stay very much within. Bye.